All right, let's go to the real reason why you clicked on this video. So the real reason why you clicked on this video is about how to start a Turo business without owning a car. Yes, this is very possible. You might wondering how I can even do Turo without having a car. Most people think that you need to have a car in order to even do Turo overall. I can say that's like partially true, but it's not all the way true. First question you want to ask is, does Turo even allow this? Yes, Turo allows you to list other people's cars and you can actively use their cars to make money for yourself. So the real reason and the real way how you can do this is by creating win-win scenarios. If you do not create win-win scenarios, then most people wouldn't likely give you their cars. You definitely want to at least create like a win-win scenario in your head of how it can work for you and for them. The second thing in order to do this is just finding whose car you can actively rent out or finding different ways to acquire a vehicle. So what you can do is you can either convince a friend or family member to purchase a car specifically for Turo and to show them that you can make them money with this and show them that you can definitely generate some income for you and for them and create that win-win situation. See somebody who has extra car, for instance, your family member or another friend, they have an extra car, the car note is killing them and they're trying to get out, or you're trying to basically just have it being paid off. Another trick you can try is by just offering to help them pay for that. You could go and say to them that, hey, I'm currently doing this business that will allow you to pay for your car and allow me to help you pay for your car. This is why a person would either consider you to do this, and this is why a person would look at you as the person who can get them out of the situation when it comes on to just generating income from the vehicle so that they can pay that car note. Another single way how you can acquire somebody is by checking the social media on people who are selling their cars. So on Facebook Marketplace, you can find so many different people who are just selling their cars and who are just trying to basically get rid of a car. What I normally do is I normally just hop onto Facebook Marketplace. If you see somebody selling a car for like 10K, 15K, 8K, around those prices, and I'll just message somebody and say, hey, I see you're selling your car. I know of this quick way you can make money while the car is just sitting. And then if you want to sell it throughout that whole period, you can either sell it, get rid of it, or you can let us use it to make some real money and make some continuous money for you. What you want to do is just make sure you know the Turo requirements for your cars, and then you want to just look for cars in the same Turo requirement. So you want to make sure the mileage is within the Turo requirement, and you want to make sure that the year of the car is within, and the car is just not like a salvage car or it's just rebuilt title or something like that. All those titles and all those types of cars are not used by Turo, so you definitely want to just make sure that you at least get the right thing and just filter for the cars that you're looking for the Turo requirement. So you can basically list the car and you wouldn't have any problem listing the car. This tactic is just very effective because I've closed at least 3 different people just using that method by just messaging them on Facebook, hopping into groups, going into these things, and just basically just offer to them the exact thing that I do, where you can see somebody who's just struggling themselves, like they're struggling to make money on Turo and they're struggling to make money in their market. What you can offer to do is just rent the car for them in your market, or if you know another market that's different, you can try to partner up with another host from there and then just create that win-win scenario from you and that person who you find on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not saying this is easy, but you just have to learn how to grind it out, because you're the first person you message, they might discourage you because they are not going to be fully interested in what you're doing and they're not going to understand it. But what you want to do, you want to make them understand, right? You have to create the level of comfort to a point where they know that this is just something that you do. You have to basically sell yourself to them in order to not come off as scammy or something like that. Because it's easy to come off as scammy, especially on Facebook, bro. Because on Facebook, I literally, every single time somebody messages me, it comes off as scammy. And it's just kind of crazy to me. Besides that, let's move forward. If you basically find a person who says, yes, so you have somebody who agrees to you. First thing you want to do, you want to have an investor packet where you can send it to them, have them check out all the things that you would offer and all the ways that you're going to help them. Many people don't realize how effective it is. And people like pictures, so you definitely want to like hit it with some pictures. If you don't have any pictures to show, you want to like at least go out there and get some pictures where you're standing next to cars, you're cleaning cars, you're just showing that level of comfort to them so that they can see it. And if you can basically come in with pictures and just like a different way of building their trust and let them understand what you do, it's just going to be very easy to close that deal and to have your first OPC get in their cars. OPC meaning like other people's cars. And once you can get them to agree to that and just realize that what you're doing is legit and they're going to make money for real, then it will be like no-brainer to book with you and to at least check out the program. That investor packet is what is going to make them feel as comfortable as possible to let you manage their cars. So the next thing is to have like a contract available. So you don't want to have like a shake hand or a handshake way or method of doing things. You want to have full on contract to literally show exactly what you're going to be taking care of and what their responsibility is for doing this entire business. The whole point is to create like a management system where they do nothing, where the only thing that you're going to be doing is sending them a check after you're managing their cars. But the way you have to do this, you have to do it in a strategic way. So you have to limit yourself from a lot of the liabilities. You have to offer certain things and you have to create like a situation where they can't just come pick up the car from you. They have to give you time in advance. They have to give you at least some advance notice when they're trying to come get their cars and stuff like that. And it's just a whole different thing, but you have to learn how to structure your contract so that the situation is easy. The way how I would structure my contracts is I would offer like a 60-40 deal where I would give them 60% and I would take 40% of the entire deal. Once I have that person's car, they're guaranteed of that 60-40%. What I do is all the expenses like the insurance, registration, things like that, they're the ones that's going to cover that. You don't offer to cover that because if you offer to cover that, then it might eat into your minuscule profits. That's just a whole nother thing. I can show you guys another video of that and I can like explain in detail on how you can structure your contracts. Probably just look out for another video. I might make another video about that. But the whole thing is to just have the contract and make sure that it's plain and clear and both parties understand, because anything happens, you have to point it out to them that like, look, this is in the contract. You guys can't breach it. So it's like a no-brainer for each person. Say for instance, they sign the contract now, you have them in, they're ready. The next thing to do is at least get the car. So once you pick up that car or once they drop off that car to you, your main thing is to document how you get the car. You want to document the exact way they gave you, like initial scratches or damages and the exact miles and the exact photos of how they dropped it off. Because you don't want somebody to say, hey, I dropped off my car like this and you gave me back like that, blah, 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 because Turo doesn't cover those minuscule wear and tear damages. You have to let them know in advance that, hey, this might have some wear and tear on it, but it will be making money, and you just have to understand that. You don't want to find somebody who is just like super invested in their car and they're like emotionally attached and they see a little scratch. They just try to make it like a big scenario for your end. You don't want to do that, bro. You want to just make sure that these people, they understand that the car is going to be rented, is going to be out there making money. So you have to just at least initial photos of how you pick the car up. And once you can do that, you create like a Google Drive and you upload those photos and you send the owner the link. They can have the photos of how the car is, they can have a video of how the car is, and then you can have a video of how the car is, and they can have a video of how the car is. Once they have those initial videos and photos, they're not going to come to you in the future and be like, bro, this scratch wasn't there, bro, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't want that. You don't want people like that. You definitely have to just eliminate that whole factor out of it. You have everything ready. You just want to decide how you're going to pay that person when the money starts coming in, because all the money is going to come in through Turo and it's going to come in through your end. You now have to create a split for them. So my suggestion is try to have somebody create a spreadsheet for you, or you can create a spreadsheet yourself and you just list out for the car the income and the expenses. Once you can show the breakdown of the income and the expenses every single month, what you do is you just offer to pay them monthly, or you can offer to pay them weekly. I've been paying them weekly, but I think monthly is the best option to do this because it just gives you more time and less time to think about that stuff, and just more time to just send them one big payment at the end of the month. And then what you also can do is you can have the breakdown of basically all the expenses that incurred. Say for instance, you had to change the windshield wiper blade or just something random like that. You put those expenses in there so that they can see that, hey, like you paid for this and you paid for that. And what you do is you subtract it from their 60% and then you just send them the difference. This is just how I do it. Once you can do it like that and you can have it structured, then I guarantee you, you will be fine. Before you even start renting the car, what I like to do is I like to install trackers, kill switches, GPS systems, just to make sure that I know where the car is at all time. Many people, they just ignore that and they don't realize that that whole situation alone can prevent you from either spending money, losing track of your car, having your car stolen, or just something random like that. I try my best to not even rent the car without having like a GPS system or just having some form of tracking system that I can either turn the car off or I could just go get the car whenever I find it. So you want to have like one where they can't really find it easily, because if the renter can find the tracker easily, then they're just gonna plug it out. Another way, if you master the art of knowing, having like a system every single time you get a car, you just now start documenting that system and you start keeping track of all of it so that you can send other partners and say, hey, look, I made this guy money last month. Or hey, look, this is what this guy made last year. You could be making the same, or you could even be making more. Every single car you work with, every single person you work with, they give you the data to work with your next guy. If you do it like this, I promise you, bro, you could start renting cars without even owning them. Believe me, if you're actually serious and if you genuinely want to do something, this is probably the fastest way you can at least do this. And you just have to be strategic and convincing enough to get somebody to give you their car. But anyways, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if this video helped you, and just let me know if you can actually implement this where you live.